because it's such a potent first pick, or maybe they're happy to go into that and go for a different hard engage support themselves. Shyvana! Huh?
We have been seeing, so there has been rumblings, not only of the top lane we've seen from Shanji, but jungle on this patch. Shyvana is kind of giga busted with a lot of the AP damage she could do with her Dragon Form E. So we'll obviously see if that ends up becoming a little bit more popular, but hasn't been so the case just yet.
I mean, we saw MilkyWay reacting on the camera to that Shyvana ban, so maybe you're onto something there, Mazel. As it will be the Leona first pick, instantly answered by JackeyLove grabbing that misfortune. And then,
Combo.
I mean, top esports, they've got the pick of the litter when it comes to the jungle, when it comes to their solo lanes as well. And they will prioritize that Lucian for Creme.
I will say, though, picking the misfortune into Leona feels very dicey to me. I mean, it all comes down to execution, of course, and waiting out those big CC chains. JackeyLove, a genius in his own right, literally. But it is just so much CC being thrown down by FPX. A lot of direction by MilkyWay and Life in this one as well. We saw the Rumble creep up a little bit. It's going to be a big pickup here.
Certainly will be. Cassante often the pick used to try and nullify this Rumble from the top side. But you mentioned it before. The Solar Flare alongside that red carpet from the Rumble can be devastating. Sejuani also great at setting up for the equalizer to shred through a team. So TVZ set up here by the rest of the composition to have some good ultimates. The Ivan ban coming out towards Tian. We saw an Ivan ban earlier on today as well, but Tian, one of the only players, I think, in the history of the LPL, honestly, to succeed with Ivan within this league.
It's so funny to me, too. And especially when we look at him this split, and yes, he's played the Ivan, but this man has been running people in the jungle. Like, it is just not fair. And I think
the crazy thing as well is it's not like, you know, we've got Creme where he's got 8 games on Tristana, he's really good at that pick, and you've got Jackie 12 games on the Ezreal. Tian's most played is Brand on 4, which is tied with Maokai on 4, and Lilia on 4, and Zyra on 4, and Ivan on 4, and Sejuani on 4. Like, it's not even just that he's playing one thing and winning with it. Like, Tian is just on a tear in general. It doesn't even matter what he's on.
And it's been a build-up, it feels like. And maybe internationally, maybe in those big moments, the conversation becomes about consistency. But in the regular season, the man has been lethal over this last 6 months or so, starting off in 2024. So we'll see what he gets the pick of the litter here. It is the Brand, another old reliable for him, and something that can pack a huge punch in the wombo combos that top esports are playing towards.
We'll certainly have the faster clear of the 2 junglers in the game here. It's just a question of whether or not he can impact the lanes in the way that Sejuani might be able to. And it will actually be caretaking that Zeri into the mid lane to go up against this Lucian. And then we just need the final pick of the support here for top esports. What do they want to do? You could look for hard engage, but equally, we have seen top esports do this a couple of times where they go for a brawl alongside really no engage elsewhere in the competition and just try and play at range. However, this composition, not that long ranged. It's not like a poke comp really, so a little surprised to see the Braum locked in. Curious how top esports pilot this comp.
It's just so good into the Leona, I feel like. And in this situation, I think we're going to have to keep really heavy eyes on bot lane and how quickly we get jungle intervention down there if we are going to get that. Because if there becomes a lead for JackeyLove and Meiko, not only have we seen Meiko have maybe one of the splits of his careers, but also just having a lot of time spent with Tian on the map on this Braum. I mean, they can be completely unlocked to defend against what MilkyWay wants to do in being proactive on the Sejuani.
Let's see if they can find it. I've got to be honest, I do like the composition coming out from FPX here.
You see that? That was catastrophe.
Look, it's not the first time that that's happened here on the LPL stream, is it? But alas, it happens to the very best of us. But yeah, there's so much setup for FPX with a Leona and a Sejuani and a Jhin to follow it up. Then you got a Zeri and a Rumble. Like, I feel like FPX's composition is very simple to run, whereas top esports, it's a little bit more complex. And also, you've got a couple of immobile carries that can be targeted by the Sejuani-Leona combo. Could be a little dangerous for top esports, but they are a team that I've seen win with some of the worst compositions I've ever seen drafted. So you can never really count them out, no matter what champions they lock in.
I think Creme on the Lucian in mid lane is going to have a lot to say to kind of keep priority there if he can. Again, with this top esports team is a team that will fight you at every objective they possibly can. So we'll have to see how that works out early game.
Here we go. Time to hit the rift. FPX versus top esports. Absolute banger coming your way.
Goodness. They're fighting with voices.
Yeah, I thought FPX had a pretty reasonable JO there, and then the top esports crowd kicked it. My goodness. I mean, we all know that they're fan favorites. How would they not be with a roster like this? But, I mean, like, you know, you were talking earlier about how the crowd always supports EDG. You know, EDG will still have a massive fan base. Well, Meiko brought a bunch of that fan base over to top esports with him. You've already got JackeyLove there. You've already got Tian and 369 there. Like, I mean, Creme is building a fan base for himself alongside this roster as well. There's no wonder that they're the crowd favorite.
See if that ends up being any more influence to the game than maybe it has the right to be. But now, a little bit of vision being played by top esports. I like this because Tian, kind of like JJ we were talking about in the last series, very cerebral jungle. And with the brand, there's some flexibility in what you can do. But we are seeing the mirrored side clears here. So maybe looking to punish this top side and get Rumble ahead for FPX while also trying to get this JackeyLove Meiko duo down there in a stable place.
I will be looking at how the laners performed today, because if you think back to spring for FPX, back when MilkyWay made his debut and everyone was losing their minds about this team, a lot of people hoping this team would make it to MSI, never came to fruition in the end. But I remember Deokdam and Light really stepping up in the 2v2s. ZDZ hits level 2 and finds himself a phenomenal trade onto 369. ZDZ making a statement in the top side. 369 holds on to his flash, but ZDZ might be the one to go for flash. Harpoon lands. I can't believe he doesn't flash for that.
That's
Care
so
getting
close.
punished in the mid lane as well.
Oh man, ZDZ finding some heavy trades there. 369 actually going to stick in the lane. He's finally going to be pushed away, going to be forced back, get the TP back out top. This is why I feel like we've been seeing the Rumble creep up a little bit. First in bans, then kind of being let through, and now tonight we're seeing a ton of picks coming through for it, and you can kind of see why in the lane at least it's a big answer.
I mean, it got nerfed, but the nerf doesn't seem to have really touched the sides, does it? Here in the LPL at least. There was a couple of days there where everyone forgot about it, and then suddenly he sort of just snuck straight back in, because it turns out he's still just a really strong lane bully.
And there you go. 4 stats to prove it.
Yeah.
11 and 6 against the Cassante.
Oh, Creme is just going to get solo killed. Creme dives over the wall. MilkyWay trying to chase him down. Creme going to try and kite it and gets over another wall. He's going to TP out. There's no vision of it. Creme gets a solo and gets on out of dodge.
I love this, man. The level up on top esports from this guy. He got so much criticism on this team. And the fact that he's stepping up against Care. We're looking at top side, though. FPX are trying to get something back here. Top esports, they are on a roll.
Boy. How is life here alone? Where is the AD carry? Meiko going to tank the tower. The passive proc for Tian. I don't think they actually have the damage to finish off the Leona. And is one tanky champion. Flash still available for life. But with Meiko tanking, that's another kill. Over to top esports, and it's into the pocket of JackeyLove.
And I still think there's a real conversation to be had about JackeyLove and Meiko being the best bot lane right now in the LPL. We have some incredible bot lanes, but these two guys have been so ruthless. It's been really, really nice to see. Again, long time conversation was JackeyLove getting a veteran support. There's not much more veteran in the LPL than Meiko.
It's, I mean,
it's the fact that he gets the last double tap at the end and also not even touched by the turret, insanity.
Important as well, he gets the W off onto MilkyWay there for A, the movement speed, but B, procs his light slinger, which then reduces the cooldown on his E, which then means he can jump over the wall, which then means he can teleport out to safety. So really, really nicely done there by Creme. And the confidence to dive this early on in the game. Creme, not only has he leveled up as a player, as you've been saying, you know, criticized a lot in the past for not being at the caliber that you expect of any player on top esports, but also having the confidence to really strut his stuff on the stage. It's just phenomenal to see. He's had such an incredible split for himself. I feel like he's in the conversation for best mid laner in the LPL. And like you said, the conversation for JackeyLove and Meiko being the best in their lane as well. I mean, honestly, I think their competition right now, BLG's bot lane have been looking pretty rough. I don't think Hunt and Gala really match up. I think we're looking towards like Light and Crisp and Ruler and Missing, but honestly, I'd say JackeyLove and Meiko head and shoulders above the rest right now.
How impressive they are. All right, Meiko misses the Winter's Bite, but it's fine. They still push them off the wave there, and it all means that Tian has been pathing down here. Not spotted out as Tian gets the CC chain, and like the passive is on it. Concussive blows is there. Tian, he has flash, but he's holding it. He wants to make sure he can get the CC chain. Oh, and he doesn't even get it in the end.
A little bit of a whiff there, but still has the damage. I don't think Lime's getting out of this one with a stun coming on through. And there we go. Sets him ablaze. As Deokdam might not be able to get out himself. Dodges the stun, dodges the slow, and will walk away. But JackeyLove this whole time has just been farming under turret.
It's so rough here. They're getting plates. He's up a massive amount of CS here. Meiko is not going to make Deokdam's life easy to get back into lane, and he's just a Jin. This is your hated moment.
Oh no, bad to worse. That was his flash. His barrier comes through, and he still goes down. That'll be yet another wave that's going to crash under the tower. Look at the CS difference in the bottom side. It's 20 in favor of JackeyLove as 7 minutes on the clock.
I think if you needed some research on if our statements are standing correct right here, is plain and simple. Them just completely diffing the bot lane of FPX, and it leads to be able to get the early dragon stacks. It leads to be able to get Tian 6. They did lose the grubs on the other side. We're looking at top lane, though. ZDZ.
That's some big damage, isn't it? 369 survives, but only just. ZDZ using this pick to great effectiveness, and you can see on the scoreboard, he's the only one on the map with a lead for FPX. And perhaps that's MilkyWay's route to impact this game. MilkyWay's been fairly quiet so far. Took the grubs while everything was going on in the bottom side. Maybe needs to play through ZDZ to try and find FPX some kind of win condition.
And we've put so much praise on Top Esports, and rightfully so. We've laid out their dominance. They haven't lost since their first couple series in the Rumble stage, and obviously against big teams. But it's FPX who have also had a huge resurgence from a team that looked like they didn't have any gas in the tank coming into this this Rumble stage as well.
I think that's the crazy thing as well, is that, like, I just want to reiterate for anyone at home that's not been following the LPL, when Mazel says they haven't lost since that previous series, he means games, not just series. Like, they are on an 8-game win streak right now. 4-series win streak. They have been looking absolutely ridiculous. And that's including Weibo in that mix. That's including AL in that mix. It's not just the teams at the bottom of the standings. They're beating legitimately strong teams here to be part of this win streak, and FPX no slouches themselves, hoping not to be a part of that number by the end of today. But it's a 2,000 gold lead for Top Esports to start us off.
I think it's crazy that, like, literally maybe 30 hours ago or so, whatever, before Top Esports played their series yesterday, like, they were sitting at like the bottom couple of Group Ascend, making it into the playoffs. They've literally jumped up to third. If they get a 2-0 tonight, they have the possibility to go up even further. So it's just crazy what a couple days of momentum can do for this team that has so many stars on it.
Yeah, still possible for LNG, for BLG to lose series. BLG still have to play AL and FPX. LNG still have to play AL. The AL schedule is tough. Their remaining opponents. But if Top, I mean, you know, Top
they're
Esports,
at the +5 game score right now, so they're all time. There's still this series to be played, so a little bit more added to the tank too. But it's still about cleaning up. This FPX roster showed a lot of grit, maybe fitting the Phoenix a bit here recently.
Yeah, not quite in their own hands, Top Esports destiny, that is, because they need other teams to lose for them to make it to top 2. But in terms of form, there were questions of their form when they lost to LNG, but I do feel like those questions have been answered more recently. But FPX, I think I would levy similar questions to them. They made it into the upper group, and they're on a 3-series win streak, recently beating out LNG, and I think kind of quelling the LNG hype a little bit as well. But also, while they 2-0'd LNG, they only just beat LGD and NIP in 3-game series. So I feel like FPX is one of those teams that you never quite know what to expect. Tian didn't know what to expect on this one, as FPX come out of the blue and find themselves a nice little pick onto the top esports jungler. That'll be 6 grubs.
And that's not usually what happens. Tian is not usually the one that's getting caught in these kinds of positions. Really good decision making from FPX. They'll get a constant objective with those 6 grubs, and the siege will be hard to deal with here. And really, really good decision making from FPX there. There is a bit of a response though. JackeyLove obviously still getting super far ahead down here in the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, 1,200 gold up. Care is just TP'd in, but Meiko's here too.
Life's coming, buddy.
Boy. Care's in trouble, but the minion wave gone. Good lightning clash to finish that wave and keep himself safe.
And will be a decent ultimate, obviously, but still absolutely rather take your life than anything else. I want to see, though, how exactly FPX are playing to deal with JackeyLove. I think life is going to have a lot to say in that. Uh-oh.
I love how this just feels like a normal bot lane with the mid laner moving down. He's on Zeri, so it just feels kind of standard anyway. There's a lot of damage there. JackeyLove,
he doesn't have the dash.
Oh, so close. As Life gets a stun under the tower, but the tower not long for this world. TP coming on through. Tower finished off by JackeyLove. Care is solo on HP. ZDZ moves in. Look at the combo. The red carpet royalty of ZDZ arrives in style.
Red is the color of the Phoenix, and they come in clutching bot side. ZDZ's massive TP. They will not get a response from 369, who is backing on the other side. Uh-oh. ZDZ might have played his hand a little too far. Oh, Tian? Tian?
Not the greatest flash there.
He gets the thumbs down. He's been loving this emote, by the way. Literally, these last 2 series they've played, just been spamming it.
Yeah, too right. It's a high quality emote right there. 2,000 gold lead for top esports. JackeyLove still absolutely massive, and it will all lead to a Drake for top esports, but a great little combo there. And I've just realized, you know, we always call the equalizer the red carpet. I feel like maybe we should reserve that for when there's a Leona, because you've got the spotlight coming down from the top as the red carpet is rolled out.
It seemingly works so perfectly here. Really good TP play from ZDZ. He was already getting his heat cranked up as well as he came down. I think Life buying a lot of time here, but a beautiful solar flame. The fact that JackeyLove cannot finish off the kill, and now you spread a little bit of those resources around. 2 kills to ZDZ.
So, the Rumble. We talked about it earlier. It got nerfed. ZDZ takes it up against 369, and so far, so good. 2-0-0. Not finding any kills in the lane specifically, but finding kills elsewhere. And now off to a fantastic lead for himself. And Rumble is one of those champions that when you do find a lead, you can take over a game. But JackeyLove is on misfortune, and I think it's a pretty similar story, really. Except his lead is just that bit juicier. Only just though, actually.
Yeah, only just a little bit. It's going to have that Bloodthirster first item. More importantly, though, he has the BF sword as well in tow, so he's going to have a lot of damage behind him. We do have the Rift Tail started up by FPX here, though. Doesn't look like there's going to be a quick collapse by top esports, but maybe in the end they do.
Do look like they're grouping Tian on the top side of the play. Remember, Tian, no flash, a perfect target for MilkyWay to find and engage. TP comes through, though, for 369. It's a full-on 5v5 for the Herald here. Ultimates available. Engage from MilkyWay. Meiko trying to block everything as ZDZ sent away. FPX grab themselves the Herald, but can they survive? All out from 369, and he finds his opposite man. Care zips back into his base. It's only 1 kill for the Herald.
FPX tries so hard to just make sure they can get JackeyLove's ultimate down. They do. They get the cancellation there instantly, but it doesn't matter because you have to watch the other part. Oh, goodness. Our observers love to point it out. We got to miss the cannon there. It is the mid lane siege for them. I still think, though, in that regard, that top esports have a lot more strength than just JackeyLove, even though he's got a lot of the resources. We're starting to see what happens when they combine as a whole.
Creme pressuring in the top side as well. Does feel like FPX are under pressure. Honestly, FPX are so... They'll be relieved that they got those 6 scrubs to start this game, because imagine if Creme has scrubs to work with here, it would be devastating on the side of FPX. Speaking of those scrubs, Care will be able to use them to great effect down in this bottom side. 369 sticks around, and I mean, he clears the wave so fast with that Hollow Radiance.
We see the initial engage here. It's trying to layer up the equalizer on top of it all, but they try so hard to focus in on the stopping of the JackeyLove. They kind of get separated across this wall here, as well as the objective secure there by FPX, but give it away ZDZ's life.
I think part of the issue there as well is MilkyWay's ult landing onto 369. He can just buffer the stun. And obviously 369 is intentionally trying to body block that, but you kind of need to hit one of these immobile carries, you know? There's a Brand, there's a Misfortune, both great targets, but it's hard to find that moment. MilkyWay, he's been a player that, I don't know, whatever you say is impossible, that's what he's going to do next, to be honest. So if anyone can do it, it's him. His spring was unbelievable. His summer not quite as much, but still incredible. As MilkyWay, the man I'm just complimenting, will just burn down. Meiko trades his life for it, and FPX will get a second onto Tian. Nice little skirmish.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you take that. It's 2 kills for 1. You have to give it a little bit of pressure for to 369 in the side lane here. Not going to be super quick on doing any damage there, but I think the more important thing is both junglers do go down. I think the startup of the Dragon could be a little bit delayed here, but want to see how much pressure top esports want to put around this, because this is one of those games where they haven't put pressure around the top side objectives just yet, besides that last fight. Meiko starting off this one, getting caught between a rock and a hard place a little bit. You see how much damage, though, comes back down on the MilkyWay, but it's just really good combinations from FPX to find, too, in ZDZ's flank here.
Yeah. I mean, ZDZ has been heroic this game. Like, pretty much all of the positive plays for FPX. ZDZ has arrived late, turned things around. 369 and a 1v3. An emphasis on the 3 for this one. Creme arrives with a TP, but it's a little bit late.
He thought he had a play on the Care, thought maybe, oh, Zeri might be in the side lane farming by himself. No, it is not the case. Care has an accomplice and a couple of them. Now I actually want to see if top esports move back over, as that Dragon stacking for them is still very big, but FPX have wrestled a little bit of control, and now with the double static shifts completed for them, they also have the Rift Herald. They can utilize some of these decision-making tools around them.
I wonder if this is something that FPX feel they can contest, because 369, while he did die, his TP is up and available. JackeyLove is on 2 items on this Misfortune. The Leandris is there for Tian. This would be a difficult fight, I think.
I like this answer, though.
Yeah, I mean, solar flare down as well, so they go opposite, right? Take the tower on the top side.
Actually, catch out Creme. They will get his flash at the end, take down the turret without using the Rift Herald just yet. So still may be able to get some of the standing gold in the outer towers that are still available in mid lane and bot lane.
They used to love the Rift. They'd love to use the Rift Herald in the mid lane if they can. As Bullet Time actually used there just to try and pressure Deokdam, but no summon is going to be forced. I think JackeyLove just fishing to try and get a flash out. Knows that there's no fights coming up anytime soon. But honestly, cool, calm, collected, controlled from top esports, and it's down to FPX now. They're the ones that need to make things happen. They're the ones that need to push this game forward. ZDZ picking up a second item there. Same for MilkyWay. Perhaps an angle to try and force something.
Did end up having to be force spawn the Rift Herald in mid lane back in base, so a delayed crash to this outer turret here. As we take actually a look back at the replay on the play in mid lane that was coming down. Ooh,
Nice flash.
Really good flash from Deokdam. All right, here comes the life. Going the other way. Okay.
You know, usually, if you're fans of Jurassic Park, you think life finds a way. He did not find the way. His GPS was very much turned off.
Take his driver's license right now.
Nightmare.
I'm actually really curious. Like, I wonder if that was any part of a plan or anything, because like maybe they were a little bit worried about a crash coming through and collapse. But in the,
I mean, you could just let the Herald charge itself, right?
Yeah.
I don't think denying its charge is ever a positive play. Deokdam takes a cue as JackeyLove sidesteps the engage from MilkyWay. And now a solar flare down to end the target, but flashes away from the red carpet. Doesn't want the spotlight. MilkyWay does, as he finds stars in his eyes from the bullet time. Life burns away, but look at the equalizer. Look at the flame spitter. ZDZ, say it again louder as he finishes off 3. Care and Deokdam, though, find themselves alone as 369 enters the fray. Deokdam dodges the stun, but no chance to get the jungler, and 369's in town.
Start up the copy pasta. 369 is going to be adding that one to his repertoire here as he is able to clean up a little bit more for Top Esports. But man, what a fight from FPX. They still do lose a lot for it. It's going to be trades across the board, but now it is also more important to think about those second items and what they mean in these kinds of fights.
Pixels away from JackeyLove to start it there.
So the initial engage here goes a little bit like this. Spotlight, yes, great. The equalizer a little bit later than that, but that enables JackeyLove to let loose. You no longer have life just hunting you down with that spotlight. Oh, it's fine.
And then ZDZ arrives.
Yeah.
Just does so much to turn this fight around. The slow on JackeyLove as well. Sets it up for Deokdam. JackeyLove able to turn that around and make it a 1-for-1. Suddenly means that 369 coming in has a freebie onto Deokdam. Really nice, like, clutch play from both teams. Honestly, these fights are really close.
Exactly what we'd expect from these teams. Maybe Top Esports are on a little bit more of a tear than FPX, but both these teams have found a fiery hot hand coming to the latter half of the Rumble stage. We're still looking at it here, too.
Meiko on the front line.
Flash
trying to chase FPX away. Yeah, MilkyWay, no flash now. Feels a little bit tense, doesn't it? Baron up on the map, but realistically, with Drake coming up in 70 seconds, you know Top Esports would love to grab themselves a soul. They lean towards that direction, and ZDZ immediately has to get out of the area. He was trying to push in the bot lane. He's 50 CS up individually. But that's nothing on JackeyLove, who is 70 CS up, or I guess 60.
So big things that we have Dragon coming up. Again, it is Soul for Top Esports. They've done a really good job of getting themselves these bottom side objectives using the strength of JackeyLove. He's on 3 items now. You're going to be getting resets from both sides trying to get ready for this one. And it is going to be the item space that we're looking for, where there isn't going to be those big 3 item spikes on FPX's side. So they're going to have to find a way to fight this one out, and it has to be led off of MilkyWay, because life needs to keep his ultimate for JackeyLove.
Keeping my eyes on Deokdam as well, on that Jhin. It's a pick that I know a lot of analysts aren't big fans of. Needs to find value on the pick. As the tower will go down, and MilkyWay goes sideways on the engage, and it means life is separated from the team. Curtain call with an equalizer. There's the spotlight as Meiko falls in front of everyone. It's a pick for FPX just as the Drake comes up.
ZDZ's equalizer there, cooking them from underneath. I mean, they had no exit. The fact that Deokdam opened up too. Now we're looking at the reset fight, but Top Esports, they don't have free entrance in here.
Cooking up the storm here are FPX, and specifically ZDZ. What a game he has had on this Rumble so far. These equalizers, the flame spitters, just the team fights in general have been nothing short of miraculous out from the top laner of FPX. And it's kind of funny because he's the least FPX member of the team, right? That's the part of the roster that's had instability across the course of this summer. ZDZ showing why this Rumble is such a valuable pick.
he's able to kind of carve out his own fight in this one, because this looks rough from FPX. Life is forced to flash, but after this, the slow plus the damage profile just is so difficult to come out of, and Meiko just has to take bullets for the team there.
Knew he was going down. Oh, look at this. Stacking up a brush. Creme nearby. They've got a lot of damage. Whoever comes near. Life, I don't think, would survive this engage. I guess we'll find out as he steps on up, gets stunned up. Celestial opposition keeps him alive for a moment, but the culling is enough. Now the blue buff, next point of call for top esports. The equalizer kind of goes between them on this one as JackeyLove just hammering the damage out onto Care. Deokdam forced to flash over the wall. The bullet time nearly finishes the job. It's only one kill. Is it enough to start the Baron?
The reservation that top esports is having when they're holding their ultimates. Like, you still have Power Climb, you still have Glacial Fissure, you still have the All Out, you have the tools here. FPX, they're being rebuffed. They need to get in here.
Curtain call, Meiko blocking it. The Baron's going to go down. And now top esports might find a fight on top of it. Care caught by the All Out 369, dodging and flashes onto the enemy mid lane. He is making up for the early mistakes in the laning phase. Phenomenal stuff from top esports. Complete control.
It doesn't matter what happens in the laning phase. 369 on K'Sante will stand tall. The fact that Care and Deokdam cannot play this video game when 369 is on their screen is exactly what you expect from a pick like this on the K'Sante. Love to see top esports taking advantage of it. And all that build-up, all that praise to ZDZ, the man that's been all over the place and can't find it. It might be coming up short.
Deokdam. Oh, Deokdam, the stun comes in. The damage is surely there, but the equalizer might just turn this around. JackeyLove's gone too far.
ZDZ?
369 has gone too far. FPX will not let top esports disrespect them.
You cannot overextend against this composition like that. They will punish you 10 times out of 10. And top esports, who have been pretty clinical in a lot of their games and a lot of their dominant 2-0 victories, they're slipping up with the ball a little bit, and FPX is getting some fight potential back in them. They are going to be getting close to 3 items now as well as we take a look at the start of that one. Deokdam, he is dead to rights here, but FPX, they use their combos so well. That equalizer from ZDZ, he might have given his life, but it does get them the fight back.
ZDZ has just been amazing, hasn't he? He's just been amazing. 3 items now on the Rumble. The amount of presence he has brought to this game. You know, we were talking about MilkyWay being the star and how the bot lane had stepped up and all of this. I never even considered that maybe ZDZ would be the one to just take over the map. And it's 13-13. Let's be honest. Top esports have been in charge this entire time. They're still basically 4,000 gold up. But it ain't over until it's over. Still a positive Baron play for top esports, but not as positive as they would have liked. And with Drake coming up in just over a minute, you know that their eyes will be going to that neutral once more.
And highlighting ZDZ as the siege comes down a little bit more. Hopefully he'll be able to defend a little bit. But like, he was name of stability on anyone's legend, formerly Rogue Warriors, then spending a lot of time bouncing around. But now maybe a little bit of a stopgap with FPX. Not going to be a stopgap after all if he's had some moments like this. But top esports are ever relenting in the pressure they have.
ZDZ heard the rumors that Xioalaohu's coming back for
exactly.
FPX, and he's like, not on my watch. Pop it off today. 70 CS lead over 369 in that top lane right now. And again, just ever so slightly outdone by JackeyLove, who has an almost 90 CS lead in the AD carry position.
That's the
absolutely insane.
That is the rough time, as the Wombo combo is has been online. And again, going back to kind of the reservation that we've seen top esports play in a lot of these fights, it's really nice to see how they're waiting out a lot of the tools of FPX, because they know that's really FPX's only entrance in, is to deny a lot of their forward advances, as we see some of those here in Dragon spawning in 10 seconds.
Remember, top esports, no significant engage of their own. They're playing full counter-engage, and there it is. The counter-engage as MilkyWay tries to start something, and he started it. He just can't finish it. Creme flashing onto ZDZ and gets out of the curtain call. Drake started with MilkyWay, no HP. Surely he can't
War
move it
Mugs.
back into here.
War
Warmog's
Mugs.
ticking in as Meiko chunked low, but Drake is taken. Soul is taken for Top Esports.
Trying to see if he could weasel his way in there, but not able to. Really big cleanup from Top Esports. Now you think about at least some of their ultimates as they get the Cloud Soul as well will be really, really nice, especially for Creme, who has been quietly building his own lead with his 80 carry brother and JackeyLove. Both of these guys going to be on 3 items as well. A bit of a response on the other side for FPX in their own 3-item spike, but we've seen what Top Esports can do with their leads.
I want to talk about MilkyWay for a second here as well, because it's a very different look. If you watched Spring and you've missed all of summer, MilkyWay on Sejuani, 2 levels behind Tian, giving up a lot of his camps to his laners. It's a totally different look. But I feel like he has evolved as a player. He has become this player that will play what his team needs. He's not just on the carries now. He trusts his laners. ZDZ stepping up to that plate. I need to see Deokdam and Care now leveling up as well. We need to see them perform more in these fights, bring more to the table. Still the lead for Top Esports, but that lead matters less and less with every minute that passes.
And a little highlight to MilkyWay, obviously Sejuani nowhere near a far cry from any of our junglers, but just in the Rumble stage itself, this is the first time we're seeing it from him. And that maybe plays to some of that conversation you're having where they are usually giving him a lot of resources. The pick it felt like he made his name on in Spring was the Kindred, but now in the AP meta, we're seeing him dominate on the brands and things like that, the Lilias. It's really nice to see maybe an adaptation of this style, but if it doesn't come up with a win, maybe that question mark still stands.
Are you ready for MilkyWay Ivan in game number 2?
The full evolution.
He's basically building like an Ivan, right? His full support items for MilkyWay. As you'd
Wants
expect,
the engage over the wall.
He's pretty tanky. 13 to 13 though. I'm so glad that FPX have shown up enough to give Top Esports a run for their money, to challenge them, and to give us a game here. I expected this to be a good game, but I'm glad that FPX are showing up.
They are indeed. Again, kind of stopping some of what we've seen Top Esports do so well here recently in their series. Yes, it's been dominant, but it's because they do not stop pressing you from the beginning on all those objectives, but FPX have stopped them in a lot of regards. Now, it is all about MilkyWay's initial setup here. We have to watch the Glacial Prison because it's the only tool they can use.
Oh, goes wide, and there's a knockback onto Care. Huge from the side of Top Esports as they find the CC chain onto life, and Care is found again, twice in a fight. ZDZ forced to go golden, but that won't save him. Another flick back from 369. One misstep, and Top Esports will take you to task. That might just be game. Honestly, they could run to the Baron, but they're sticking around in the mid lane.
MilkyWay giveth, MilkyWay taketh. You cannot miss that engage against a team as ruthless as Top Esports. You cannot overstep a single moment or this team will look to just put you down. They do exactly that here, and they are continuing to barrel this one in here, Munchables.
Deokdam is up. Life has just respawned. 15 seconds on the other players. Deokdam is sent straight back to the fountain. 369 happy to tank for the time being as Creme dodges away from the deadly flourish, but the Nexus has been laid bare, and Deokdam can't do anything about it. Bullet time to keep them on the fountain. And Top Esports, one single mistake is all it takes from FPX to be taken apart.
That's 3 series in a row, by the way, for Top Esports that literally one fell swoop wins them the game. Like, this team is beyond ruthless. Like, they have found a way to maybe have some questionable decisions early, but a lot of the time contesting you, keeping pressure out on the map, and then taking one fight and finding the victory. I think this team has been functioning so well, far and above maybe some of the expectations, but on paper, those expectations were already pretty high.
Yeah, the Sejuani as well. I don't think we're going to see it in Game 2 from FPX. I think we're going to see MilkyWay back on a carry once again.
Can't rely on the others.
At least he tried to play the supportive style. We're going to jump into a break and find out how this series continues right after.